Hello, my name is Cassandra, the owner and CEO of Phoenix, the Mystery School. And today, what I'm going to be talking about with you guys has everything to do with heartbreak. And the reason why heartbreak is so real is because so many people devote themselves to things outside of them without realizing the karmic loop that they're currently ongoing with. So, when we start talking about heartbreak and these karmic loops, there's so many telltale signs that this isn't the right relationship. And one is that usually somewhere inside what is going on is that you are looking for something outside of you to fill some certain hole, void, or wound. So it's like an external search for something that can fill whatever it is that you feel like you are missing. Now, of course, you might be listening to this and saying, I'm not doing that. I'm just really devoted to this person. But let me ask you, if you're devoted to this person, whether you're married or dating or you're single, but just seeing where things go, let me ask you, how do you feel with that person? And then when you leave that person, because often what will happen is that you feel so good when you're with this person. Oh my gosh, they so see me, they get me, and then when you leave, you feel like a complete bag of trash and you feel depleted for days. And then they might ghost you. They might not talk to you for a while. They might, not give you literally anything in return other than these little snippets of time. And this can happen when you're married too. So, usually, what is happening in this is that there is some sort of sight that's happening within this. And when I say sight, they're offering you something to see within you, like where it is that you are overly devoted outside and running from you. This can be a big one to really, really get deep into. So, I'm going to tell you a little story about something that happened recently with a client of mine. And it was absolutely incredible because she had been dealing with heartbreak. She was feeling so depleted. And one thing I really want to add is that I so love this woman because she chose her mission. She's here making a huge impact with young adults, with teens, with people of all ages. She has a charity. Like, this woman is insane. She is on fire, right? She's so magnetic. She's so beautiful. She's so radiant. Like, oh my God, being her presence was like, ooh, this is so great. Like, this woman just has this leadership and sight, and it was just so amazing to see like her gifts and her talents and how she brings them forward into this planet. But yet she was dealing with this deep ache, this deep heartbreak within her heart. So we were going to do some cord removals here, and she said, wait. I don't know if I want to do this. She was really scared to let go. And I understand this because I've been this woman, really scared to let go of someone because what if? What if they're the one, right? What if they change? What if they finally wake up one day and see the person that you are because you're so wonderful? How could they not see it, right? So I've been here and I'm only giggling because I've said these things to myself over and over and over. So when we do cord removals, it is not that you're removing this person completely. You're removing the negative traits. You're removing the karmic tie. You're removing the emotional unhealthy bond, like that addiction center essentially in the brain that is running on this loop. And that's what these, karmic ties, that's what they're like. They are like an addiction. Okay. So you will experience very similar stuff. You'll feel like almost a withdrawal when you're not with them for long periods of time. You have the extreme highs and lows and all these loops. And, there's a lot of dopamine that gets released when you are in their presence at times. But then you still don't feel fulfilled. You still feel empty. You still feel like, what the heck is happening? So we had to reassure her that this wasn't ending potential between them. What is ending is the negative loops, any attachments, anything within herself that was attached to this type of a bond. So we found out what the attachment was. We found out what the other attachment on the other side was, and then we lovingly released it because you cannot expect this person to come into your life and come back into your life. You can't expect to have someone who is like your king or queen if you're not dealing with your own stuff. It's a constant, ongoing process. So when these things release, they can either come back in a more healthy way, or you are very clear on what your boundaries are and what you want. And before you ever get into a relationship, these are things that you have absolutely got to know. What is it that you are going for? Are you looking for divine union? Are you looking for a long-term, amazing relationship? Are you looking for someone to be deeply committed and devoted? And that is the only thing that you're going to accept in your life, whether that means ending things with people, walking away, whatever you need to ensure that you are sticking to your integrity. Because when you do that, these types of things can no longer drain you. They can no longer have any space in your life, and you will start to repel them more. So, not to say that they will never not show up, because that's not true. These types of people, they will see your magnetic energy and they'll be like, and they want that, right? And it doesn't make you a target either. But what you have to understand is the amount that you are giving to other people, and is it in line with your integrity and what you say that you want, because you have to act from that place for your king or queen to come in. Otherwise, you will feel drained. You will start getting sick. You will be constantly chasing this person. And it is not healthy, and no person should be chasing in this way that is depleting and exhausting. And you're always trying to prove yourself and how good you are. If I just keep giving, maybe they will see. And I'm really sorry if this is hitting some pain points, but I didn't know this for myself. I have gone through this so many times with so many people and feeling like I have to restart. And what I came to find out about these types of heartbreak and bonds is that I was chasing outside of me. I was looking for completion outside of me. I was looking for something to fix and save something inside of me that was external, right? I wasn't facing my shadow from when I was young. I wasn't facing my wounds. I wasn't facing anything in relation to masculine wounding, feminine wounding, any of that type of stuff at the time. And because I wasn't, subconsciously, because consciously we don't think this way, consciously we're not going to say, I'm going to find a filler for this wound. Because many think once you get into a healthy relationship, poof, all that stuff disappears. And I'm going to burst that little bubble, and I'm sorry, but it doesn't. When you get into a healthy relationship, you really have to face your inner demons, your inner wounds. You have to be constantly facing those things. Otherwise, no matter if it's toxic or healthy, it will just, it will fall apart completely. A healthy relationship will always fall apart. You will push that person away if you're not facing your stuff. And in an unhealthy relationship, all your wounding actually adds fuel to the fire. So it keeps going and it keeps building and it keeps getting more toxic, and no one lets go. But in healthy stages, that person that you're pushing away with your wounds that you're not facing will walk away eventually, right? This is just the nature of these types of bonds. So if you don't want to be depleted by somebody, if you don't want to be living in heartbreak, you have to figure out what it is outside of you that you're chasing. And why are you so devoted to this person outside of you and not going inwards and not doing the inward work? Because that's what it takes. And I'm not saying that doing the inward work means you can't do anything outside of you. It means you can't have a relationship. Absolutely not. You can have so many wounds and be in a relationship and be working through them, but you have to be doing the work. That is the point of divine union, is for people to be clear channels to live their mission, live their purpose, create an impact, and have wealth go into the hands of the right heart-centered people. And that is how we're going to make a change. And this is how heartbreak, even though it's really, really crappy sometimes, it can actually propel you into something greater as long as you can see the gift in the wound. And once you do, and you have rock solid boundaries, it does not matter how long it takes to find the right person, because you will not let another person ever drain you again. Whew. So that was a lot. And I really hope that you get some benefit and some value from this. I hope some of this lands and some of those codes actually land in your system, and you can start seeing where you're choosing someone else and not choosing yourself, and where you're running from yourself in the form of, relationships and jumping from person to person and things to that nature, because I have done it. And it sucks. You can get really sick, you guys. I was having constant bronchitis and pneumonia, and I had low grade cervical cancer cells as well. Like, this is no joke. And chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, all those things were so intense for so long because of this cycle, because I wasn't acknowledging this crazy loop that I was putting myself through and not facing my wounds with the masculine, not facing my wounds within myself and dealing with them, right? Even though I was doing healing work for so many other things, it just wasn't for that. And I was avoiding that. I was avoiding looking at where I've ever felt not protected or loved or safe with a man. And if I had, what happened in the past, right? I wasn't facing any of those things. So once you do, you can start to open your heart. You can start to see that this is going to be an ongoing process, and that's okay. You don't have to hate that process. And you can choose you and put you first and what your values are, because if you compromise on those things, you're just going to find people that are going to consistently drain you. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys what you took away from this. I'll also put my free meditation in the comments, as well as my cord removal process and a few other little cool goodies that can really assist you in this process. And of course, I'm open to DMs if you have any questions for me, and if there's any way that you would like to work with me further, because these are my favorite things to work with, ending that sense of suffering and victimization that shows up so often in so many ways. All right. Love you guys so much. Again, my name is Cassandra, and we'll catch you next time.